Brett.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our regular meeting of council. I'll start with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we live, work, and gather on the traditional and unceded territory of the Algonquin people, specifically the Temiskaming First Nation. We recognize the presence of the Temiskaming First Nation in our community since time immemorial and honor their long history of welcoming many nations to this beautiful territory and uphold and uplift their voice and values. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Good evening, Your Worship. All members of Council are present with the exception of Councillor Ian Graydon, and I'll also note that Councillor Wilson and Councillor Whalen are joining virtually this evening.
Thank you. Good review or revision or deletions to the agenda? Seeing none. Next, item 4, approval of the agenda. I do have a resolution in front of me. Be it resolved that City Council approves the agenda as printed. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Dawson, seconded by Councillor Ducharme. Discussion? All in favor? That motion is carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest in general nature?
Thank you. Councillor Dan Dawson declared a conflict of pecuniary interest related to Section 14 bylaws, Item E, bylaw number 2025-068, being a bylaw to enter into a land lease agreement with Whiskey Jack Beer Company Limited to permit the use of a laneway adjacent to 45 Ferguson Avenue for an outdoor patio, as Whiskey Jack Beer Company is owned by family.
Thank you. Is there any others? Seeing none. Takes to item 6, public meetings pursuant to the Planning Act, Municipal Act, and other statutes, and there is none tonight. Item 7, review and adoption of the council minutes. I do have a resolution. Be it resolved that City Council approves the minutes of the City of Temiskaming Shores Council and Committee of the Whole meetings as printed. A, the regular council meeting held on May the 20th, 2025. And B, the Committee of the Whole meeting held on June the 3rd, 2025. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Pelche-Levin. Seconded by Councillor Whalen. Discussion? All in favor? And that motion is carried. There's no presentations or delegations. Brings us to 9A, correspondence and communication from the Township of Archipelago. Read the Bill 5, Protect Ontario by Unleashing Our Economy Act, 2025. That was received for information. B, the District of Temiskaming Social Services Administration Board. That was their 10-year housing and homelessness plan. That was received for information. C, the District of Temiskaming Social Services Administration Board, and that was their quarterly report for Q1 2025, received for information. D, from Amanda Holmes, the Assistant Deputy Minister, Provincial Services Division for the Ministry of Natural Resources, and that was really the introduction of Bill 27, the Resource Management Safety Act, including proposed amendments to the Forest Fire Prevention Act. That was received for information. Item E, from the District of Parry Sound Municipal Association, raise supporting municipal ethics through access and education. That was received for information. And F, the Airport Management Council of Ontario. Re, the Airport Management Council of Ontario, encouraged by 2025 Ontario budget. That was received for information. I do have a resolution in front of me. Be it resolved that Council for the City of Temiskaming Shores agrees to deal with communication items 9A through 9F in accordance with the agenda of references. Can I get a moment, please? Councillor Dawson. Second by Councillor Ducharme. Discussion? Councillor Pelche-Levin.
Thank you. If we could bring back item A from the Township of the Archipelago opposing Bill 5, please.
Sure. Councillor Dawson.
I was looking at item D. I think that probably needs to be looked at closer with our emergency plan.
you. Any others? We do have a resolution in front of us. All in favor? And the motion is carried. Takes us to item 10, committees of council, community and regional. I do have a resolution in front of me. Be it resolved that the minutes from the various community and regional committees of council be accepted for information. A, the minutes from the District of Temiskaming Social Services Administration Board meeting held on April the 23rd, 2025. B, the minutes from the New Lister Business Improvement Area Board of Management meeting held on May the 12th, 2025. And C, the minutes from the Temiskaming Shores Public Library meeting held on April the 23rd, 2025. Can I get a mover, please? Thanks, Councillor Peltier-Leving. Seconded by Councillor Wilson. Discussion? All in favor? And that motion is carried. Brings us to item 11, of reports by members of council. Seeing none, I just wanted to reach out and thank Councillor Whalen for chairing our last meeting. Very much appreciated. Also, Councillor Whalen, thanks for attending the graduation at Northern College. So thanks. And seeing none, that takes us to item 12. Is there any notice of motions? Okay, seeing none. Item 13, new business. 13A, it's a resolution of support from the town of Georgina on salt management. And I do have a draft resolution here. Whereas Council for the town of Georgina adopted a resolution regarding salt management, and whereas road salt is a known toxic substance designated under the Canadian Environmental Protection Act because of tangible threats of serious and irreversible environmental and public health concerns associated with road salt. And whereas salt levels in Ontario's groundwater, aquifers, creeks, rivers, and lakes have increasingly worsened since the 1970s, seriously affecting municipal drinking water sources and aquatic life. And whereas the Ontario and Canadian governments have taken many actions over the past 25 years, including setting water quality guidelines, developing voluntary codes of practice, signing the Canadian-Ontario Great Lakes Agreement, and holding workshops, yet still the salt problem continues to grow. And whereas numerous situations, analysis have recommended salt solutions involving liability protection, contractor certification, government-approved pest management practices, and salt management plans, we resolve the Council of the City of Temiskaming Shores hereby supports the town of Georgina's call on the province of Ontario to, one, to work urgently with key stakeholders to develop limited liability legislation, including enforceable contractor training and a single set of provincially endorsed standard best practice management practices for snow and ice management. And two, to create a fund and next year for advisory committee for guides to province and municipalities Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, the Honourable Todd McCarthy, the Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, the Honourable Doug Downey, the Attorney General, John Van Toff, MPP, Temiskaming Cochrane, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, Conservation Ontario, the Ontario Salt Pollution Coalition, and the town of Georgina. Can I get a mover, please? It's Councillor Peltier-Leving, seconded by Councillor Wayland. Discussion? All in favor? And that motion is carried. Takes us to item B, Administrative Report, CS-030-2025, the New Lister Business Improvement Area Block Party, and a request for municipal support. I do have a resolution in front of me. Be it resolved that Council for the City of Temiskaming Shores acknowledges receipt of Administrative Report CS-030-2025. That Council for the City of Temiskaming Shores hereby designate the 2025 BIA Block Party Evening event on Friday, July the 25th, 2025 as a municipally significant event, and that the municipal clerk will forward a copy of this resolution to the owners of Wild Wing to confirm the event as a municipally significant for the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario to assist the event organizers in their application for a liquor license. And that in accordance with Section 4.8 of the Noise Bylaw, number 2012-019, Council hereby provides a noise exemption for the BIA Block Party Evening event held on Friday, July the 25th, 2025 until 11 p.m. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Dawson. Second by Councillor Ducharme. Discussion? All in favor? That motion is carried. Next, item 14, bylaws. And just a reminder, Councillor Dawson has disclosed a pecuniary interest. I do have a resolution in front of me. Be it resolved that item E, bylaw number 2025-068, being a bylaw to enter into a land lease agreement with Whiskey Jack Beer Company Limited to permit the use of the laneway adjacent to the 485 Ferguson Avenue outdoor patio, be hereby introduced and given first, second, and third and final reading, be signed by the mayor and clerk, and the corporate seal affixed thereto. Can I get a mover, please? Thanks, Councillor Pelchet-Levine. Second by Councillor Wayland. Discussion? All in favor? And that motion is carried. Resolution, if I may be resolved that A, bylaw number 2025-064, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of the Ontario Transfer Payment Agreement through the Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program, Housing and Enabling Core Servicing Stream between His Majesty the King in Right of Ontario, as represented by the Minister of Infrastructure and the Corporation of the City of Temiskaming Shores. Bylaw number 2025-065, being a bylaw to authorize an agreement with BM Wells Associates Limited for engineering services associated with the intersection improvements. C, bylaw number 2025-066, being a bylaw to enter into an agreement with Linda Gagne for the provision of concession services at Far Park. D, bylaw number 2025-067, being a bylaw to enter into a land lease agreement with Brian and Jennifer Barecki to permit the use of the laneway adjacent to the 484 Ferguson Avenue outdoor patio. F, bylaw number 2025-069, being a bylaw to further amend bylaw number 1335 to authorize the execution of an agreement with Temiskaming and Northern Ontario Snow Travelers to lease lands and premises on parcel 21726 SST, being the north half of Lot 6, Concession 1, and that's a 5-year extension. Item G, bylaw number 2025-070, being a bylaw to stop up and close a highway, part of Blackwell Street, described as Part 2 on Plan 54R, 6484. H, bylaw number 2025-071, being a bylaw to stop up and close a highway, part of Russell Street, described as Part 5 on Plan 54R and 6484. I, bylaw number 2025-072, being a bylaw to authorize the sale of land of part of Blackwell Street, described as Part 2 on Plan 54R, 6484 to Tri-Town Secured Storage, Inc. Item J, bylaw number 2025-073, being a bylaw to authorize the sale of land of part of Russell Street, described as Part 6 on Plan 54R, 6484 to Tri-Town Secured Storage, Inc. Item K, bylaw number 2025-074, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 2021-187 to extend the lease term with the Hillary Food Bank for the rental space at 500 Broadwood Street. Be hereby introduced and given first, second, and third, and final reading, be signed by the mayor and clerk, and the corporate seal affixed thereto. Can I get a mover, please? Thanks, Councillor Dawson. Seconded by Councillor Ducharme. Discussion? All in favor? And those motions are carried. Brings us to item 15, schedule of council meetings. 15A, committee of the whole meeting scheduled for July the 8th, 2025, starting at 3 p.m. And B, the regular council meeting scheduled for July the 8th, 2025, starting immediately following the committee of the whole meeting. This takes us to our question and answer period. Is there any questions for council? Councillor Dawson?
I have just one question or comment. With our upcoming street closures in the town of the old community of New Liskers, I'm just wondering, I know that it can be done because we used to do it when we used to police that area. When the main street's closed, can we get the traffic lights at both ends changed so the advanced green is canceled? To have traffic sitting through a long advanced green when it's not necessary because there's no traffic going that direction. So I'm just wondering if we can adjust the lights during those street closures to help the traffic flow a little better, because especially at the bank corner, it really builds up bad there during the road closures.
Mitch, any thoughts on that?
I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to talk. So I could certainly ask. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head. But keep in mind the BIA closure is a full closure of Armstrong and Whitewood, so the bank corner's not an issue because they'll be closed. The one at Paget, I can certainly ask. It does come down to some logics and some electronics. I'm not going to pretend to know what I'm talking about when it comes to that stuff, but I can certainly ask, and I can get back to you, Dan. Thanks.
You need me to give you permission to speak, Mitch, or somebody else? I'm glad you did, so thanks. Any other questions? Seeing none. Takes us to item 17, closed session. And I do have a resolution in front of me. Be it resolved that council agrees to appoint Sandra Lee as clerk from the beginning of section 17, the closed session, to the completion of section 19, the adjournment of the June 17th, 2025 regular council meeting. And can I get a mover, please? Thanks, Councillor Peltier-Leving. Seconded by Councillor Wilson. Discussion? All in favor? And we'll be going into closed session. And I do have another resolution. Be it resolved the council agrees to convene in closed session at 6:19, and I'll just say 6:30. It'll take a few minutes to discuss the following matters. A, the adoption of the April 1st, 2025 closed session minutes, and B, under section 239, 2D of the Municipal Act 2001, the labor relations or employee negotiations, and that's our organizational review. Can I get a mover, please? It's Councillor Dawson. Second by Councillor Ducharme. Discussion? All in favor? And we are in closed session. Thanks.